It wasn't enough for SteelSeries to trample on through the gamer heaven, knock my Astro A50s off my desk as my daily drivers, replace them with the Arctis Nova Pros, but now they've got to come in here and drop a 1-2 punch with a high-end USB microphone and an XLR bundle that target two different niches of content creation, but both pack the same heat with the software, allowing you to individually adjust audio tracks on your PC, similar to a mixer like a Go XLR, in a $180 all-in-one package that sounds like this. This is balanced, as in I'm a damn good skateboarder, because when I'm on the rail doing a 50-50 backslide, I'm fucking balanced. I'm not gonna eat shit. And has a software suite that looks like this. Chat, that's gonna be the Nimrods you call friends yelling obscenities in Discord. Not a bad rap from SteelSeries, but we're gonna unbox it, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna run a slew of tests. In Call of Duty, my gun goes pitter patter, pit pat pow, and find out if the alias is a nickname we're not gonna take on. Let's get it. Kinda looks like a Beats Pill speaker from this angle. A quick disclaimer for my audience, the stallions and stallionettes. This microphone, not the one that I'm talking into, this one right here, I'll put it in front. The one we're reviewing was sent for review. However, this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. I haven't been paid or told to say anything about it, so if there's any cons, shortcomings, or areas of improvement, you're going to hear about it. So these companies make better products over time. As for the packaging, included accessories on the Alias and Alias Pro, which we are not focusing on the Pro today, this larger box, because it has an additional component, an XLR mixer to go with, well, the XLR microphone. $330 for this bundle, and it'll have its day in court very soon. But as with all SteelSeries products, whether you get a keyboard, mice, I do believe if it's singular and not plural that it's just a mouse. I meant mouse, not meese or mices or masai. Headset, which we know are top tier because it's my daily and I wouldn't wear something that's not amazing. You're gonna have this gray and orange, which are their theme colors. You are gonna have 3 wafer stickers, which will need slice, and then the box is gonna open from the side. You do have the included items on the side, which is really only the microphone, the boom arm adapter, and the USB-C cable, as this is a plug-and-play USB-C mic. Gotta love that simplicity. Box is pretty damn simple as well. You don't have any laser cut foam holding this product in place, just some basic cardboard, but you do have your documentation top dead center, your instruction manual, pamphlet, or brochure, which isn't bad. English is the primary language, good font. Never mind, that good font is only on the first page, then it goes to this muy poquito, very tiny. You pretty much gotta be this close to the instruction manual to read it, and that's how close your suckle should be to the front of that capsule as well to pick up your voice for that sweet proximity effect, so you can sound like a broadcaster. Yuck! Out of my face. Definitely cut costs on the packaging, but they did pass that on to us, which does include the adapter. You will need to mount this to a boom arm, which I strongly recommend you do mount to, rather than using the included stand, which will get you by in a pinch and a clutch. But I have a separate video from a couple years back that will be linked in the description below, showing you step by step how to sound sultry and smooth on a USB microphone of any price point, and there's an entire chapter dedicated to why being mounted on a boom arm is preferable to being on a stand on your desk, where you're closer to your keyboard and every bump on your desk is reverberated into the mic. Get out of here. Mount or adapter is metal, not plastic, and in case you're curious, there is nothing underneath this box. In this tiny box, you are going to have your included USB-C cable, 10-foot, rubber, not microfiber or braided, no dust covers on the USB-A or C end, and no Velcro tie back that's going to stay connected. But most importantly here, the length is adequate to 10 foot, although if you have a long boom arm and not a low profile joint like Elgato's, you're still probably going to want a 15-foot cord. At least that's what I had to opt for with this monstrosity of a desk over here. As for the build quality on this microphone, the microphone face and body is primarily coated in this cloth material. The plastics do feel a little bit cheap, but nothing to really raise an eyebrow at. You do have a couple of speaker grills on the sides and top, although you're going to be speaking into the front of this microphone, as that's where the capsule is. This plastic in the front actually feels pretty soft and supple and not crappy, but it does look a little bit cheap and chintzy. As for the knob, which is going to be your chat game blend, you do have a nice resistance with this knob or dial. However, clicking in doesn't feel like it's clicking in at all, so hopefully it's not meant to click in, or if it is, it's just clicking in and I can't really tell. You are going to have a capacitive sensor for mic mute, so you don't actually physically need to touch this. You just kind of hover your finger over it, and that will mute your microphone. Also, it's pretty nice the mic is built into a shock mount, which does stay connected to the mic, so you use this adapter to get her on a boom arm, or you can use the included stand if you're in a pinch, which does have a rubberized coating, so it won't be sliding around your desk. This is plastic and also doesn't feel like the most durable plastic in the world. It actually feels a little bit cheap, but the microphone does not. The actual body of the mic feels great. And then you're wondering the the million-dollar question. Kevin, what about onboard gain control? Well, you have a tiny knob on the back here. I'd like if the big primary knob in the front was gain, and this was going to be for your blend in the back, but no big deal here. You have your USB-C port in the back, as well as the 3.5mm jack for lag-free monitoring. Love that. Your knob on the side for tension. Whoops, probably shouldn't have done that. It would be nice if SteelSeries threw in a couple of standardized mounts of different sizes. These are dirt cheap on Amazon, but it just sucks that you might have to pony up extra dough on the side and then wait a couple days for an adapter. Well, this included mount's pretty sweet, and it is very easy to get off the desk stand and onto this boom arm mount. They are missing this adapter, which luckily I have a smorgasbord over here, but it'd be nice if SteelSeries threw in some different sizes of threaded adapters for different models of boom arms. This is nothing special over here. This is a standardized mount. Over here with the SteelSeries Alias attached to my suck hole directly in front of it, this is the out-of-the-box plug-and-play sound. I didn't even manually adjust gain, and it doesn't look like I'm peaking or clipping here in OBS, so that's nice. Right there in the yellow, which is what you want. A couple things I immediately noticed that I like about this microphone is, first of all, going to be its camera presence, how it looks from your end on camera. It looks pretty sleek, pretty understated, not crazy or gaudy or wild or flashy, so very similar to the Shure SM7B I usually use. The next one is going to be that I have these LED lights, these colored dibbly dots on the front, which actually give me a representation of how close I am to peaking or clipping, or if I'm being too quiet. And I have that knob on the back for manual gain adjustment, so I can see if I'm a little quiet. And I got a sore throat. I don't really want to start speaking louder. I can just turn up that gain. That was the wrong way. I was turning it down with the gain completely turned off. Ooh, yeah, yowza. I'm just talking at a normal. Taper that back a little bit. There we go. Right back there in that pleasure spot. The next thing I noticed, I'm not going to say I like it. In fact, I'm going to take it the other direction and say I don't like it, is this RGB lighting over here. It's just a small little ring, but it's bright as shit. Takes my attention a little bit out of my peripherals. You can see it on your end. Maybe you enjoy that. It's a little bit distracting, I think. All my other lights in the room, not really distracting. They're just on static colors. And oops, I forgot a couple. Alexa, swag on. There it is. But whilst this mic might sound really good right out of the box, it can sound much better because you can complete your Alias setup by installing SteelSeries GG, or Good Game, GG, in the chat, please. Now, it might not look like you have much customization or tweakage in here. You can't really do anything to this microphone. Au contraire, mon frere. That's what these two plugins are for, Sonar and Prism. It's kind of a confusing approach that it's all under the GG umbrella of software, and then you have Sonar, and then Prism, and then there's like 3 or 4 other ones. There's ones for capturing clips, like NVIDIA highlights, and you're prompted to install those additional plugins. I unticked the box for all those because I know what they do. I don't need them. You're going to see mic side tone, which is just another word for mic monitoring, hearing yourself repeated back into your headset, which is kind of nice because you don't need to use that 3.5mm headphone jack at the bottom to get that. You can actually use a wireless set of cans like the Nova Pros, and with the routing table or routing matrix that we're about to go through in just a moment, very similar to something like the Go XLR, you could actually route the sound of your voice to your headset. Over here in the illumination tab, that is going to be just what you expected, RGB lighting, but it's a little more in-depth than you might have thought. It actually has to do with the function of this LED bar, which monitors your voice. And because of that, you have 3 separate zones, so you could change the color if you want it to be purple when you're getting too loud, and then pink when you're clipping or whatever. There's also a separate slider for how bright the LED is when you're muted. I think that's a really nice level of control. And then the ambient LED, which is going to be at the rump or tuchus down here, you can turn on and off, which I just turned off, and it shall be left off. Make sure you hit save in the bottom right. And live preview, toggling that on and off just means that when you're dragging these sliders for the RGB lighting, and it's going to take effect in real time and not have to click save each time.
You still have to hit save to make your changes take effect. However, you don't need to hit save in order for the RGB to make changes on the fly. You can see what the lights are doing.
Now, if you want to have multiple configurations that'll have their own presets for Sonar, Prism, and these 2 settings here, click on config, click add new, and you will be able to name them right here. We're just going to go with the default joint, and we're going to click on Sonar, which is going to have a lot of fun for us. So right here is going to be your chat game blend. Controller is going to be the game, and over here the dialogue is going to be your buddies yelling obscenities in Discord.
Stretching old Gretchen's legs.
Old Gretchen.
We're going to come back to this tab, but let's jump over to mic and see if we can make the mic quality a little bit better. So right now we're in Alias boom arm. I did select that because I think it sounds pretty damn good. This is the default with a flat EQ, you know, a natural organic sound from this microphone. Here is the desk stand, which has a very aggressive low cut. Then as you'll notice, the XLR microphone, the Pro, actually has separate presets as the microphone sounds just ever so slightly different. This is balanced, as in I'm a damn good skateboarder, because when I'm on the rail doing a 50-50 backslide, I'm fucking balanced. I'm not going to eat shit. Broadcast. I'm over here running a podcast. This is going to be broadcast a low pitch, repeat broadcast a low pitch. This is clarity high pitch. As you can see, incredibly aggressive with that low cut, and then you have a high pass up here, actually a high boost for those bright peak highs. I would never use any of these presets. Then you have deep voice over here, so if you sound like an absolute weasel in real life, you can actually enrich the bass. Put a little bass in your voice, organically, if you will. Pump that shit in. Less nasally if you've got one of those like deviated septums, or just you've had your nose broken several times because you're a boxer and you're not very good. You forget to protect the face. Less nasal, reduce that nasally noise with your clogged ass. Walkie-talkie, indeed. I'm talking to you on the radio. 10-4, affirmative, brother. I'm reloading. Cover me. He's gonna graze my buns.
That didn't sound like a walkie-talkie effect at all. Now this sounds like a radio voice or a cell phone call, or, you know, you could do all kinds of fun stuff with this.
This is all good fun, but we're gonna come over here to boom arm like the good Lord intended. Now you can drag and drop. I do like the detail that you're getting here. Gain, frequency, it's showing you a lot more detail. I also like that this chart is clearly labeled. You can see the actual frequency ranges in hertz, and then vertically you can see the loudness, the decibels. The loudness. I sound like such a Nimrod. How loud is that microphone? Does it get pretty damn high for you? Now, one thing I will say that I'm not too keen or fond of is the noise gate doesn't seem to do anything. At least I'm not getting a visual representation that it's doing anything at all. This is with it off. Pretty quiet in my house right now, but I do have my HVAC system on and my PC fans are running, obviously. Not a lot of background noise. Then you crank this bad boy up, test, and there's no difference here from negative 10 dB and then over here at like negative 56 dB. They also have a checkbox for automatically compute, which will take away the slider because it's trying to do the work for you. Then I absolutely hate this. It's a little bit confusing because there's also a noise reduction over here with two sliders instead of just having a noise gate, so you kind of have to balance the three instead of just having a dedicated noise gate like most mixers or audio interfaces. Not a big deal for me. I have a very low noise floor here, pretty quiet in this room, as it is moderately acoustically treated, and I'm really close to this microphone. My neighbors aren't talking that trash in the front right now. Don't really need a noise gate, but it's always good to have. And then compressor. I absolutely love that they have this hovering over the question mark. It's gonna explain what is a compressor. It automatically keeps the voice in a range so that it never gets too loud or inaudible. Adjust the level slider to set the impact of the effect. Exactly. So a compressor is going to amplify your low sounds, so maybe you're whispering because you're listening for footsteps and Escape from Tarkov, but it's also going to take your loud sounds. Maybe you're raging because you just got pissed off, you got your cheeks clapped, and you're clapping the ears of headphone listeners because you don't have a compressor on. There really is no excuse for that, considering OBS has a compressor built in and it's pretty decent. And virtually any USB microphone, you're going to be able to use a free VST plugin called Reaper plugins, which I've done a video on. As you can see, this compressor is pretty basic. It's just one slider level, which I actually like. You don't have to diddle with a whole bunch of other con trickery. For example, I'm popping up my Go XLR app over here. Let's expand the compressor, and boom, as you can see, there's a lot of knobs, switches, and dials back here in this engineer booth. Let's close it out. It's very daunting. The first time you open each and every one of these tabs, you are going to have a very helpful pop-up, very user-friendly, as it explains everything that you can do on that page. We've gone through mic. Auxiliary over here is going to be for that aux port. Yes, that does support spatial audio. Love that virtualized surround sound. And they have a lot of tweakage here with sliders for performance and distance. Volume boost is going to give you a little bit of a lift and boost the volume before processing. Love that. And smart volume is going to automatically keep the volume in a range so that it never gets too loud or inaudible. That sounds exactly like a compressor. All of these tabs that we're going through, game, chat, media, auxiliary, are all going to give you individual control for the audio that you're hearing for each one of the sliders over here in Mixer. This is very similar to what you see with an audio interface like a Go XLR, or a lot of the high-end USB integrated solutions like the Wave Mic from Elgato and the Beacon, which came out of nowhere and got a lot of hype, and then nobody's really talking about it anymore. But all of those programs allow you to have individual controls of separate sound sources from your PC, your chat, which could be Skype or most likely Discord, media, so this could be your Spotify or Pandora pumping tunes in the background, auxiliary, that's going to be separate control of your 3.5mm aux port, microphone, that's the most important thing, that's the pièce de résistance, the entree, that is your voice. And then you have master volume, which will take effect of all of the sliders, except for microphone because, well, that's your voice. Now, while it's still ideal to have physical faders, sliders, dials, knobs, you know, analog control, still having a software suite is a great solution, and for a lot of people that don't have the desk space or just don't have the audio knowledge to set up a mixer, they're not really as daunting as you might think. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, very helpful. This will get the job done very nicely because you can individually split all of your audio sources and then control them all together with a master. How do I get this aim trainer going? Oh, there. Start training. I didn't know that was like integrated with the software suite. I've got an aim trainer now. I usually just go online to a website for this. It's baked in now to this software suite. Hell yeah. I like these two. These are fun. And this is the Prism plugin, which is going to be for your RGB control. You only have control of this bottom LED if you want to control the LED lights on the front. That is going to be an engine, and then click on the alias and then the illumination tab. Alrighty, so we're in the default mode, which is a flat equalizer. There's no real processing here, no compressor, no noise gate, so the most organic, natural sound you can get out of this microphone, and we're going to do a little testing. First of all is a little test of the plosives. Peter Piper pickled a pepper. I'm on pickle patrol, Patricia. In Call of Duty, my gun goes pitter patter, pit pat pow. The cough was unplanned, but it'll help with the plosive tests. Next is a test of the semblance, which is going to be those harsh S's. Sandy sells seashells down by the seashore and also sells her sentimental secrets to scumbums, scallywags, and those sailors. Putting a lot of emphasis on those S's. I don't talk like that normally, pushing the S's like I'm in Slytherin camp to try and test this microphone, and I think it's handling it pretty good so far. Now it's going to be a proximity test, so right now I'm about 3 to 4 inches, so about the distance you should be from your microphone, but now we're going to get real close and personal. My lips are about half an inch from the microphone.
I just wanted to quickly point out my only real complaint about the sound quality of, well, not the microphone I'm talking into, but the one that we're testing right now. I am editing this bad boy, this video in DaVinci Resolve, and I should never really need to manually take control of audio clips like this because a compressor should do all this for me. So when I get to my editing software, I shouldn't need to do a whole lot of audio balancing or normalization of the audio levels. Not the case here. The compressor doesn't really do anything. I wasn't seeing a visual representation of it affecting my audio levels, and then sure enough, you can see it right here. This is blaring loud. It would cause physical pain to my listeners if I didn't reduce this manually several decibels in post-editing, which I'm going to do because, you know, editing 101 over here, we're trying to normalize our audio levels, but that should be done by the compressor of the microphone automatically, and it's not.
This is about 1 foot from the microphone. 3 feet, 3 feet from the microphone. 6 feet. 6 feet away. One of the green dots is lighting, so I can tell I'm a little quiet back there. Obviously, no shit, I'm down the street. One little gripe or complaint, or at least worth a mention, is the fact that if you have a low-profile boom arm, it might not actually reach to your mouth if you have a longer desk, so you might actually need to get a little extension tube. I needed to get one for my Shure SM7B, so I already had one, luckily, and I'm actually going to use it for this microphone as well to kick it out about an extra 4 inches, so when I sit at my desk normally, right over here, the microphone is actually in front of my mouth. That was a good test of the handling noise. How did it handle the handling noise as I rubbed the back of the microphone? Probably pretty good because the thing's coated in cloth. The fuck? I thought I turned this RGB off. What is going on here? Now we're going to test the noise rejection from the back of the microphone, so I'm going to be typing an aggressive email over here. Or why does it have to be an aggressive email? It could be something fun. Maybe I'm just mashing on the keyboard because it's good for the fingers.
My fingers hurt.
So what we'd like right now is if my voice is taking the show, all of the typing noises are completely rejected from the back of the microphone. Noise rejection from the top. Noise rejection from the top. Noise rejection from the side. Noise rejection from the side of this ride.
So listening back to all that audio footage from the Alias over here, yes, I did switch back to my Shure SM7B. I'm sorry, I'm faithful to her. She's good to me. It sounded really good, like even the out-of-the-box plug-and-play sound, which is very important with a USB microphone because a lot of users are just going to want to plug that sucker in and get to using it for their video calls and streaming and YouTubing and content creation, hosting a podcast. The list goes on. ASMR, people are doing that now, sucking on rubber ears at 2 a.m. on Twitch. But my thoughts on this microphone, it's pretty damn impressive, and that really does come down to the software. It's extremely convenient not having to have a physical mixer, but still being able to divide or split the different audio tracks of your PC, such as your voice comms and your music app and your game. And when you combine that with a microphone that does sound very good, also looks very good, and has that really nice LED monitoring on the front, which I really did enjoy, this is a solid USB microphone. The best that I've used to date, and I've had my hands on the HyperX Quadcast, the Blue Yeti, blackout, not that that matters, but it was the all black version. And yeah, so far this is superior. Mother superior over here. But I am extremely curious to see what kind of performance we're going to get out of the big boy, that $330 XLR package. Considering this blew my socks off, I'm curious what of mine's going to get blown off or blown back when we get to the XLR microphone, which is probably going to be in a couple of days. The USB and XLR versions of the Alias are linked in the description below. Drop in the comment section below what you think of this microphone. How did it perform? Did I sound decent out of the sucker? And I'll see you stallions and stallionettes tomorrow. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach in a system as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch with myself and the stallions and stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.